Hey, what's up, Facebook land?
God, that was like our worst lead in.
It's cheesy as shit.
Oh man.
Hey, Mary Brooks, what's going on?
Hello, hello.
Mm,
We have 5 people watching.
this is tasty. You have your drink?
I do.
Salute to y'all. We're drinking mead tonight. Damn, dude. I want a lot of it.
I need a moment.
I need a moment. Hey, Lee, what's going on? Are y'all going to be up at the market next month? You and Dina? She is drinking red wine. We're drinking mead tonight.
Technically mellow.
Technically mellow because it's an apple version of it too. Sweet.
They gonna be there
Yeah, they're gonna be there next week.
next month.
Next month. Sorry.
Yeah.
The days and nights are confused.
But before we get started, a couple things didn't get to the word today.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, right. But there's not exactly a huge amount of news other than what's currently going on. We are hosting the special workshop / experiment that's going to be the last Saturday of the month, and
Just next Saturday.
no, it's not.
Not this coming Saturday. Next Saturday.
Yes,
Yes. So next Saturday.
the 28th.
Yes.
We'll do that. It is going to be the 28th. But our sign up bit should be up. If it's not, it will be soon. And we're doing it as a spiritual music theory class. So it's going to be showing you guys how your gifts work through the joy of song.
The sound of music.
We're going to be playing several songs, somewhere between 6 and 8 songs, and breaking them down. It's going to cover several different genres of music and several different tempos, so it's not going to be the same thing over and over. And we're doing this so that you can read. The idea is to see what you get from the artist, or from the music, or from just the vibration itself. And it'll tell you how your gifts actually work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to be doing that. Once again, that's going to be on the 28th. You guys should be able to sign up very, very soon if you can't already. You can do that on spiritmechanics.com/store. And we're looking forward to having a bunch of you out. I know a lot of you were already interested in that. So hopefully we'll be able to do some fun shit.
Let everybody know tomorrow I will be getting out these shipments for those who are wanting stickers. Most of you all got me addresses. Those who didn't, let me know. Put them in the Facebook messages for Spirit Mechanics.
Yep.
Tomorrow is the day that I'm going to be going to the post office to ship all that stuff out. Also, Melanie Thacker, your crystal should be going out tomorrow as well. So
we got the packaging materials to do the thing.
yeah,
so.
finally got all of our packaging and envelopes and all that jazz in the other day. So, and today
right here, actually.
Yeah, they're right there.
Right there.
So today I had, if it didn't go out today, I had an intuitive counsel. He had energy healing session he had to do over the phone. So we were both fairly busy today. Just kind of letting everybody. We've not ever since the fair. We have not stopped.
Dude, we haven't stopped since June.
Well, I've had some breaks, but as far as like I try to come in at least once or twice a week to do office work. Mostly, I don't. Missy threw out the intuitive counsel in our group. We have a group chat that all the mechanics are in. Well, all the full-time mechanics. The trainees aren't in that one yet until they get their full status. So,
Mr. Ottersberg, you will be joining that group
very shortly.
As of Scarefest, yes.
Yeah. Right now it's mostly memes, but we do talk about cases and who wants to take up whatever. But so all those who have seen, like, who have posted a message or something like that, we have seen your message It's just assigning somebody to do the thing.
Missy should actually be getting with you guys if she hasn't already. She will be getting with you by the end of the week, as
Mhm.
most definitely. Um, I know that Krista she was talking to, and Mr. Ottersberg should be getting with.
Another one that was asking questions. That's more of his forte than it is ours. Hey,
So,
Steve Tyree, what's up?
what's up? Speaking of trainees, yeah, we're gonna call you out. Speaking of Mr. Tyree and being a trainee, he had his first um, energetic spiritual healing at the fair this last Sunday and did a spectacular job. Want to give him the golf claps.
I have a glass in my hand.
Um, but he did awesome. Looking forward to working with him, and it's gonna be a ride, buddy. Hopefully you're ready for that shit. Um, the
We'll do our monthly next our next big gigs as far as like that. We'll start doing those next month, as there's no point in us doing like spending 20 minutes talking about the mystical market, because we have like
3 weeks,
3 weeks.
yeah,
So we'll
until the
get
next
we'll
one.
probably get onto that next week or the week after when it's a little bit closer.
Probably we'll be doing the quick words probably. If something does come up, I'll bring it up. If not, it's the same stuff we've been announcing.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested, we do have an event calendar. It is up on the website,
Mm-hmm.
so you can look that up. Um,
A big shout out to donors, though. I don't know if you all want your names released or whatever. That's fine.
Usually we don't, just to protect privacy.
But we want to give a big shout out to those who have donated to help us out to get to clients this weekend. We're heading to Alabama to help a family. We'll
With
kind of give a little bit, not a lot, but the wife is a missionary. They've gone to a foreign thing, and
it looks like they've brought something back with them.
so we're going to head down there to help them to either confirm, deny, or help give them some support. Fix whatever we can fix. So we wanted to say thank you to those who have who actually sponsored us to go and help this family.
We do want to give a huge shout out for that because of your all's donations. It is 100% community sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are making sure that we can get down there, and it was just an amazing thing. The first donation literally covered our room,
Mm-hmm.
the entirety of it, and the second donation is making sure that we have gas and food for the road.
Yep.
So you guys literally did an amazing thing, and we're gonna let the people know that you guys are a part of the reason why we're able to be there.
Yeah. They're truthfully they're in a tough spot because of the Vidco 19, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
The pack of roving stray dogs that has swept across America.
It messed up their their ability to work. So they don't really have it to be able to cover the expenses, and that's kind of going into that. That's all we ask when we're doing our house call cases. It's to cover our expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We
what we make from our events, we turn back into our packaging for shipping, our sponsorships that we sponsor for Scarefest TV. Specifically, Wes Forsyth, we sponsor him, and that particular that particular thing, and it helps us to be able to pay for our events. So
materials like the lighting and
yeah,
the backdrops and things that we use for our live streams now. Um,
that particular thing, actually, that was another donor. They took care of us on that. They made sure that we had the money to pay for our lighting, for the green screen backdrop, to make sure we had a good camera, a microphone. Well, we paid for one set of microphones. We bought another one. So there's, you all have been taking care of us, and we want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, making sure that we're able to be on here and to help as many people as we can.
It's it's kind of interesting. And you don't really think about it, and you know it's once again it's that imposter syndrome. Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the person I was working with today had mentioned that because the work that we've done with their friends and the work that we've done with them, they feel like they belong, and they feel so much better about what it is that's been happening, and everybody around them seems to be doing better in life and starting to get healthy again. And you don't you don't think about that at that point in time when you're working with somebody. It's not the first thought of here's the domino effect of things that are going to happen, or here's what I want to see out of this. It's more of a, and I literally do start just about every energetic session with what would you like to see at the end of this?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see at the end of this? How would you like me to help you? And by the time it's done, I hope I was able to help. It's those specific phrases. I'm glad I was able to help you. You don't think about that kind of stuff, and then when you hear it, you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it really just kind of hits you. So
From the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you. This the live stream is brought to you by you guys.
literally,
The us going to Alabama this weekend is brought to you by you guys. You all are sponsoring for this, for all of us to be able to do what we want. For us to be able to help people and to be able to do the things that we've dreamed of doing. Even though different mindset at the time as far as us being ministers.
yeah.
Now it's still us being that particular thing of making sure that people are healthy, happy, and safe.
It was it. I honestly, and this is just me coming clean, honestly, and we've talked about this a lot on live streams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak for Brian on this. I know he has similar thoughts, but I don't want to speak for him. But I felt dirty asking you guys for donations.
Mm-hmm.
It literally, because it was that whole thing of A, they don't know us, and B, why would they donate? Why would they give money? And I'm sitting here when I would sell merch, quote unquote sell merch, that kind of thing. By the way, we have this thing in the deal, and if you buy this thing, and I don't like that. But for some reason, especially when it came to this particular case, this Alabama case, and their situation and our ability to get there, that kind of went out the window. It's like, okay, we've got to have help to get there, and these people need the help. So I've got to choke down that particular fear and ask for the help. And you guys really delivered. It was it literally is something that it, to not sound rude, but it's probably going to come across that way. I never suspected that you guys would do that, and it just really kind of blindsided me. And I'm getting all misty eyed now because you guys are doing the thing as a community, and I'm like, holy shit, it does work. The system works.
Right.
Um,
I mean, on my end, with that particular thought process, it's not a fear; it's a pride thing. Never wanting to ask anybody for anything. I grew up, with the thought process of not begging. You know, and I know when we start going through and asking you all for help or that kind of thing, it's it's a pride wound for me because I don't like asking anybody for help. You know, I can do it on my own, and then half the time it's like, fuck, I can't do it on my own. I'm drowning. But 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 again, we want to say thank you all for allowing us to be able to do what we do, giving us the opportunity to be able to reach out to people, and that's about it. This past weekend, we were at the the Central Kentucky Mystical Market.
There's the words.
Yay! We were at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market doing the thing, and again, mostly all new people. Mostly all new people.
Actually, yeah. We had a few of you that stopped by and said hey, and uh, a couple of you actually brought some friends, and we did the thing.
But in the end, just to I'm all about being transparent. Um, Scarefest, we do very well on the financial end.
It's usually where we wind up recouping for almost the year
Yeah,
at that particular time, and you know, because with our sponsorships and everything else, it takes a huge chunk out, and this particular market, we doubled what we would typically do at Scarefest.
Um, actually, we broke our record for an event in 2 days, and Scarefest is four. Well, technically three. By about 150. Just to be, again, just to be transparent, we broke our own record, and thank you all. I mean, we were able to again pay for our shippers and pay for there's a couple other events that we're wanting to do that require some the one thing that people are absolutely loving, and if you all want one, it's the soul DNA reading.
As he looks at me and is like, I I had an entire group. It was in Cincinnati. I didn't stand up for 6 hours.
It was back to back to back to back on this particular reading that he does, and it was an absolute hit. What is the soul DNA reading, Steve?
Are they asking?
Yeah, Lee Jackson asked.
A soul DNA reading. It's just kind of a fun deal. Um, it's pretty much an intuitive read with a little bit of flair. So it's kind of like getting one of the goofy Facebook quiz things of what spiritual animal are you or what mythical creature are you. Um, but what I do is based off of your energy, your thought process, the way that you work. I associate specific entities to those traits and explain the reason why I came up with that. Um, and so far, it you can't call every reading 100% accurate. If you have somebody that's like, I am the shit, I'm 100% all the time, they're a fucking liar. Um, but it's almost been on the nose every time. So it's fun. It's just something fun.
Between it, I mean, he probably does 8 to my 2. I do the stone attunements most of the time, unless I need to break. After an extensive energy session, I need a minute to kind of get back because I have a tendency to go far somewhere, and I need a minute to kind of get myself back to be ready for the next one. But he's been doing like eight of them to my 2 of soul DNA to stone attunements. Soul DNA to stone attunements. I mean, I think we did one elemental affinity, and the person I actually talked about it last week. The person actually full on stonewalled me and was like just stared me down. I'm like, here's your money back because apparently the only things I got were these two things.
I mean, that particular person wasn't quite ready for a reading anyway,
Yeah.
especially one because these are surprisingly invasive. That's the thing that people don't quite get. Um, Even though they're quote unquote basic readings, they're really not. And the big thing with that is they're icebreaker kind of readings.
Right.
They're to help you express yourself, help us get to the root of the issue, and talk through it. So they're basically more fun ways of doing intuitive counsel.
Cassie Burnett says, please let us know when people need help. Getting you there and getting you there to help them.
Um, we will, as long as, and this is kind of going back to what Brian said, is as long as we need the help. Um, because the part where Brian is, he's doing the, it's a shake to his pride. To me, I don't want to put anybody out. I know that times are hard. I know that the Vidco has not been kind to a lot of people. I know that the work situation is not great. And the last thing I want to do is take food off of somebody's table, make sure that, they don't have their lights or anything like that. So if we can do it, we're going to do it. If we can't do it, we're going to let you know.
Yeah. But yeah, there was one encounter this weekend. I freaked this boy out.
You're proud of this one, aren't you?
Oh, I am so proud of this one because it scared this boy. He's probably Dustin's age, 26, 27.
Yeah, mid 20s.
And he came to me, asking for the basics and wanting to get his chakra realigned and get his energy tweaked and stuff like that. And after the whole process, I just looked at, we're sitting here talking, and it ended up being about a girl.
As it is.
The main thing that he was, the main issue, and I pretty well called him on it was about a girl. And I was working with his sister and his sister's friend, and we were working on. They wanted to know how to see auras, and I like we do in our classes. This is how to do the thing, and I went through the whole process with them. They saw the true aura. They did the damn thing. All three of them did the damn thing, and we're in the middle of it. And I'm setting up for teaching something else. I'm about to do a little bit of energy work, and I just snap to him, look him square in his eyes. Delete her fucking pictures off your phone. And he looks at me, silver dollars, and goes, "How the fuck did you know that?" And I'm like, "Don't come to me."
You can't lie to a psychic, son.
And he literally pulls his phone out, and it's an entire fucking folder of just pictures of those two. I didn't even look at the pictures, but it was one of those situations where it was like, delete her if you're wanting to get to the next step where you're supposed to be going in your path. Delete the fucking pictures off your phone, dude. And on the spot, showed me he was deleting them and deleted them bitches. And then all of a sudden, he opened up and started seeing shit like Steve sees shit. And I went, see? That's why. That's why you're supposed to do it.
Oh,
How do I do the thing? Well,
there, there weren't any huge ones that stuck out to me this weekend. I've I've had a lot lately. The ones that have been sticking out to me are the ones that I do outside of events because it's more of a let's just call it what it is. It's more of an intimate setting, so people feel more at ease. You don't have to push. You don't have to be invasive or nearly as blunt
mm-hmm.
as you do at an event because everybody's focused on what's going on around them. who they're there with. They're looking at everybody else's responses to the questions you're asking them, and it's like, stop. Okay, we'll do this. And similar to um, the one today, I had one. It was Monday, was it? I believe.
You were off on Monday.
So it was Tuesday.
Yep. You had nothing on Monday.
Okay, so yeah, it was Tuesday. So Tuesday, I had one, and I go through the procedure of looking at their ethereal body, making sure they're clear, and called an attachment, and wound up pulling the attachment off, cleaning them up, getting them stitched up. That's my bag. I'm a spiritual surgeon, so replace the chakras, remove the attachment because it's a cancer, stitch the hole, make sure they're healing. And their friend was the one I was working on today. And their friend, oh my God, the difference. Well, awesome. What do I do with that? It's
I'm just doing the thing.
I'm just doing my best. That's all I can do. And but the difference in her, and she actually was talking to me and mentioned exactly when she got that attachment, and as soon as you brought that up to her, knew where it was from. And I'm like, most people do, but it's gone now. And she said, I can tell it's gone. And hearing that from an outside party was really fucking cool. Someone else that the person knew that literally like confirmed everything, like right there on the spot. And I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
I can do things. So it was definitely an interesting situation. Although the person I was working on today had no idea that I did energy work. That was the part that I found funny. That's literally my bread and butter is spiritual healings.
Mm-hmm.
And had no idea until they looked at the website. They had no idea that I did this kind of stuff. They thought I just taught metaphysics.
Right.
And I'm like, neat. Now you know. And I have an appointment with a friend of theirs tomorrow.
And I ended up getting one that was kind of out of the blue today. Not going into great detail, but by the end of it, it ended up being I'm my strength. Yeah, energy work is a strength of mine, but into the intuitive counseling and being able to talk to them from both the intuitive side and the psychological side is a big strength of mine. And when we were done by the whole thing, they were jaw gaped, like, holy crap, I didn't believe, they found us randomly.
Everybody finds us randomly.
Right. And they found us randomly, and I got onto your website and I did the thing. Do I need to reschedule for another session and blah 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 blah? I'm like, just let me know how you're doing. If you need another one, we'll do another one. Otherwise, I'm not going to take your money.
We're gonna check on you in a couple days. If you feel like you need something else, let us know.
Yeah.
And that's how we are. Especially if it's something like that, where that's deep emotional counseling, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's a lot of energy work, or even a physical healing, we give that shit a few days.
Yeah. I mean, the worst I did was a chakra, third eye restructuring. That was about it.
Yeah.
Because rest of it was still healing. As far as that. Hey, Jenny Tubb, what's going on? Lee Jackson is interested in a soul DNA. We'll have to get you next month at the event. That way we ain't got to do a phone call.
Yeah, because those work better while they are in person.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let everybody know. Um, and if you want them done from a distance, I would have to do it over video chat.
Yeah.
Um, most other readings are fine. Of course, stone attunements need to be in person.
Yeah, you got to be in person to do that.
Truthfully, they all do, aside from aside from actual distance work,
Yeah.
our readings, at least with the guys, um, have to be over the table more so over the phone.
Steve Tyree says that's like the person I worked on almost was crying for my question. By the end was laughing, and it was awesome.
You did the damn
You
thing,
did good,
buddy.
dude.
You did great.
I wasn't there for that one. I was kind of off because I wanted to kind of give the individual space of student teacher for at least the first one. Um, you know, get used to how he operates, how he teaches, as far as like at the booth. And then, because I mean, I checked your work. That's just what we do. We make sure that each other's work is on par to our expectations, because our expectations are fairly high. But I didn't feel like the need to actually go, well, you could have done this better. You could have done that better. It didn't need none of that. You
No,
did good.
you did good.
Because even like the Springfield case, we had talked about that I think a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't able to be. I did the first half of the second half of it. I was so wiped from the first half of it and being eaten, um, that I ended up passing out in the car for 2 hours. Well, when I got back in, first thing I'm doing is I'm checking the work. I'm going through. I wasn't there to be a part of the process. I want to make sure that the process was all right. It ended up did finding something that was missed. That's just our checks and balances system. Because we do have a high threshold of expectation for the work that we do. Um, you know, that's just our nature. We wanted to do our best. We want to see our best whenever we do something.
I mean, it's one of those things. If you're going, let's just call it for what it is. If you're going wrist deep in someone's ethereal body, or if you're going traipsing through someone's house saying that you're going to do the thing, by God, you better do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with me, I tell people all the time, let me check, let me make sure. I don't want to be that surgeon that leaves their watch behind.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. When we went to Springfield, there was a mirror that we missed. We were closing mirrors. There was a mirror that we missed.
Yep.
And those kinds of things are very important because if the mirrors are already open and they're already allowing things into the home, then all of them have to be closed.
Yep.
If they are not, then the activity can resume over time.
Even if you only have one floodgate, I mean, you only have one gate that's opened, it's still just enough for stuff to come through. Hey, Melanie, we will be shipping out your
Your
obsidian,
sphere, quartz.
your quartz sphere tomorrow.
So you'll have the matching set.
You'll have the matching set. She bought both of them, y'all. Y'all missed out.
Yep.
There might be some other ones when we start going through our bags, or we start if we get a piece in that we really like, but can't figure out what we want to do with it. We'll throw it up for sale or something like that, just to kind of give you all um,
it
a piece of us. There we go.
we don't do stone sales. That's not us. We have a bunch of friends that do. But our work stones that we no longer have a purpose for, or no longer work with us,
Mm-hmm.
or pieces that we just don't use. Those will make a random appearance.
Yeah.
And we'll always do the thing.
Yeah. Who are those two stud muffins? Who the fuck are you talking about? I mean, we have a green screen and everything, but
Who?
Donna's hollering at us. Who are those two stud muffins?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey man, give the pose.
Which one?
Just-
Oh, that one.
There we go.
Anyway. Shit.
Strike a pose.
Are we gonna start voguing?
Oh, the entities behind y'all, right? Let me activate this transmute right quick that is in the green screen.
Because if y'all didn't know, that's exactly what that is.
Even though it's a representation, the middle representation is actually the Philosopher's Stone, which is the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them, maybe you should do some research.
Yep. Um, but yeah, that is the actual representation for the Philosopher's Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Truth and actually fullness in life
Mm-hmm.
is what that particular bit means.
Full in connection with spirit and physical.
Which is kind of what the other one's made. Anyway,
I know, right? The mixing and melding of the two.
hey, look.
We know our shit.
Actually, we do have to give a shout out to our artist for that,
Yeah.
because he actually took the time to research the alchemic symbols that he put on it.
Yeah, 100%. He didn't take any direction from us other than, hey, we want it in this color.
Seriously. Um, and he did come through. He's got a lot of autoimmune things going on
Mm-hmm.
and is a sickly dude. So you'd have to wait on it a little bit in order to get it done. But his name is Chris Bryant, and if you are interested in his work, we can get you in touch with him.
He does great as far as like our this particular logo, as far as our digital content. Anybody that's seen our signs, he helped us get the actual parameters for it to be able to send directly to Vistaprint and us not have to fight with it. The big thing that he is known for locally, especially, is physical using art in a physical medium. He does a lot of superhero stuff. He did an amazing Carnage. It is.
It's spectacular. His turtles were great too.
Yes, he did an amazing Carnage, but I'm not wearing his shirt. It's a different shirt, but again, I'm just kind of. I liked Carnage.
He did a great Venom as well.
Yeah, I always Venom is superb. His TMNT is also just
He does a lot of great stuff,
yeah.
and we're trying to get his name out a little bit. He could use a little bit of help. Speaking of people that need help, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
He could use a little bit of help uh, because of his condition. It's a little bit rough for him to do a 9 to 5. So we're trying to help him out by getting him some clientele.
Donna said, "Love you both. Just teasing you. Love the new logo. Get it copyrighted. It's only about $40."
That is the plan,
Yeah.
actually.
Uh, I was gonna say something and I forgot. Anyway,
I hate my mustache.
don't do that.
I can't help it. It's in my mouth.
There's a lot of things that we need to do when we actually finally have the finances for.
And that's another thing too. You know, there are things that you guys have been suggesting that we should do that we just don't have it. And that's not us bitching. It's just us telling the truth. We currently just don't have it. I mean, we've got a little in the bank as it is, quote unquote, but every bit of that is going to be gone in the next 2 months.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have to pay for Scarefest.
That.
I mean, we had to pay a little extra. I mean, truthfully, we this year has been, as far as finances, has been a blessing. As far as
word specifically,
as far as Spirit Mechanics specifically, I mean, I've had financial blessings as far as my personal life, and so has he. But none of it's came from Spirit Mechanics. But Spirit Mechanics itself has been financially blessed this year to have around the same amount of money in the bank every month, even after we've paid our bills.
yes, and it's just it's an amazing thing because we talk about it a lot, but when we first started, this is a point that we hadn't really seen ourselves get to.
No, I mean we were paying to play.
Seriously,
We were splitting the booth fee.
we were
I came up. We were selling stones at one point in order to make our booth fee because the energy work was dry. Nobody wanted to fool with us. Nobody wanted to touch us. I mean, we had maybe one or two a month, and at the time, in truth, we both were extremely uncomfortable in asking for anything. What do you think we're worth? What do you think we're worth? What do you think we're worth?
And truthfully, we still do that.
Yeah.
You know
That's
that
actually a big policy of ours. Is actually they're used to people are used to paying before they receive the service or receive the reading, and it's like no, you pay after. You pay when we're done.
if you don't get anything, you don't pay.
Peace out.
Well, later, we can suggest somebody that might be a better fit.
Give them your money.
Seriously,
Denana.
Denana. Isn't that a type of pizza?
I'm so. Please don't beat me.
Denana.
Uh. Denana.
All right, we have a new one.
Evil glare. It's what she's just said. Glare.
So we have two now.
Yeah, we have my Baroni has a first name and Denana. She says it means you're on the right path. Jenny Tubbs says you are worth $8,000. Duh.
Yes.
I am going to be working on that shirt this week.
Yeah.
I've got I wanted to put, we have a new company that we're going through instead of Teespring. There might be some stuff to Teespring we still do, but
for the most part,
yeah, we're going to be moving over because they have a lot more merchandise that we can choose from as far as places we can place things.
And truthfully, it's a lot better quality.
Yeah.
It
might be a little bit more on the expensive side for y'all. Maybe like $1 or $2. Because I don't know on Teespring a shirt's $20. It might be $21.88. But the big thing is the $8,000 shirt is going to be one thing, and a common phrase that I'm actually going to design this week that we both say is no stress.
Yep.
No stress.
No stress.
That's going to be a new shirt. And it's going to have I'll probably end up putting the transmutation star in it. Maybe not Spirit Mechanics itself, but I'll probably put the transmutation star on it to kind of denote it that it's ours.
We could do like the logo, have the star and then no stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm learning about. I use GIMP because I'm cheap and Spirit Mechanics can't afford Adobe Premiere. The Adobe Creative Suite.
That, the Photoshop and Illustrator and, all of that.
He does have a web page. I'll have to get that. I don't have it memorized.
We'll get with Tiff. She has his info.
Yeah.
And
we'll post it up. We'll probably put some of his stuff on our thing and put his website on. And go that route.
We'll do a direct link and
And then and I about said it again. Donna said, "Now I hate you."
Da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na.
Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, you get to look forward to this. Scarefest is soon.
We're having a little bit of an alcoholic beverage tonight.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Sure.
Speaking of, have to get by you.
What? Oh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
But hopefully everybody's going to enjoy the stuff that we're going to try and put out. And once again, these are going to be going straight back to doing things like going to events, getting to people that need us, and making sure that we're able to provide what it is that we currently provide, and hopefully in a better way. We do have things like the Patreon. That's going to be a thing. Uh, we had the convo this last time because we honestly weren't prepared. But by the end of the month, probably the same weekend, probably that Friday before the special class, so the 27th or so, we are going to try and do the Patreon bit then. So hopefully you guys will be interested in there for that. If you would like to be a patron, let us know. The Patreon link will be up and running on the website very, very shortly if it's not already. Um, and
Go this way.
the idea is to, if you do donate, we want you guys to get something out of your donation.
Oh yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. So technically, when you buy merchandise, you're not buying merchandise, you are donating to us. And you're getting a shirt or whatever. If you do the Patreon thing, you're donating to us, and we're giving you uncut content and different things like that.
Here's something that we did last month to help with that too. I mean, there's a Facebook chat that is just the Patreon. And we ended up in at the hotel calling our Patreon people, letting them know how things were going, and then texting them the entire way we were going towards our destination in Ohio. You know, it's kind of one of those things where we want you all to at least feel like you're involved. I know you can't physically be there. I don't want you to connect to these situations. However, those who got on the fucking live stream and connected while we were doing the Stevenson building, don't connect.
Don't do that. This is for your watching pleasure.
This is entertainment.
It's for us to put ourselves in danger for your amusement.
As Jenny does the flat no face emoji. Don't connect. Don't connect.
Don't do's. Unless it is a situation where like it's safe. See what you get.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of that on the Patreon, by the way. There will be a lot of that coming up. He's looking into how to run the Patreon so that we can do it directly from the site.
It'll probably end up being used through an unlisted link going into a live stream on YouTube, because that's how Patreon does it. I've got to figure out how to work that. It'll be basically this kind of thing. However, it'll be unlisted on YouTube if we do that. It'll be one of those situations to where it is an invite only. If you are not in that Facebook group, and if somebody shows up in the thing, I will ban you. That is not supposed to be there. I swear, because these people paid their money to see it, to see this content.
And we're doing all kinds of different shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be investigations. It's going to be going deep dive into things that we don't discuss on Facebook. It's going to be having special guests talk about what it is they do.
Yeah.
And the experiences that they have had. It's going to be investigations.
Yep.
So the things like what you saw at the Stevenson building
are going to be the Patreon exclusives. We might do one that is specifically for Facebook, because we got a lot of views. Let's just be realistic. We got a lot of views during that. But there might be an EVP session that is just Patreon.
And doing it live. There may just be a walkthrough that is just for Patreon.
Lee Jackson says, we don't want you to... That's the nature of what we do.
Literally. It's kind of our thing.
Yeah. We're kind of masochistic like that.
We're the croc wrestlers. The lion tamers.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you. But I could fucking see you just jumping on a crock and it just going death roll, and you've got its mouth shut, and you're like, ah.
In a heartbeat. Me trying to kidney punch it.
Lee Jackson said, I follow a person in the UK who has the first hour for public and the second hour for Patreons only. I mean, we could do that.
And that's kind of what we've been talking about for a long time.
There's a lot more than just this episode that we're wanting to do for those who do the thing on Patreon, because yeah, it's $5 a month, and it's just a little extra effort for us. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, if I'll put it to you like this: $5 a month. If all of our followers were to do that, that would change. It would be a life-changing thing for Spirit Mechanics, just flat out.
Just 100%.
And the reason being is, you know, it ain't going to be hand to mouth. It's not going to be a hand to mouth situation. If all 2,138 of y'all were to, do the Patreon to get the exclusive content, it would change the Spirit Mechanics as far as, all right, now we can afford to pay for our office space as opposed to running it out of a bedroom. You want to see the office space?
Seriously.
Here's the office space.
We're
in a back bedroom, y'all.
This is unprofessional as fuck, but at least we're being honest.
Right.
Let
me switch and fix this.
But yeah, that's kind of the thing. I have the extra space. This room wasn't being used for anything, and okay, let's do. When this isn't being used, it's broken down, and the exercise equipment is used, and when it is being used, it's set up, and we do the thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it's that kind of deal. Because I think one of the things that kind of, it upset me in a way, but it also kind of worried me in another way, and I think that's the reason why that whole $8,000 thing really got to me the way that it did.
Right.
Because normally it wouldn't have been such a big deal. We've dealt with being demonized and everything else for years and years and years. That's just not even a thing. It was the fact that we've gone hungry. We've even skipped out on paying our own bills to make sure that we could do events, make sure that we could go on these cases, make sure that we could do things.
And the sheer audacity that they charge $8,000 for a house call per house call.
Per house call.
Per house call. Really griped. I know it griped my ass.
I was hot for days.
That live stream last year. It was a live stream last year. I don't think we saved that motherfucker.
No, we ditched that.
We were screaming because we were so angry that, $8,000. You realize how many cases that we've done that we could have charged $8,000 on?
I mean,
that's like, and I actually did the math. It was well over $250,000.
That's stupid. That's stupid to charge that kind of money. And it was that whole thing of the community that we've tried so hard to build. Honestly, and this is when I really started to understand, and this is just me being honest, how this whole thing, Spirit Mechanics as a whole, not just what we do, but you guys as well, how big of a deal it actually is, because
our community,
you guys came to the fucking rescue.
Our community came in and dog stomped a celebrity psychic.
over the bullshit that they were causing.
And the Dead Files community came in and dog stomped that celebrity psychic.
Because of the bullshit that they were causing.
And then our benefactor, our biggest one of our, as far as celebrity supporter.
Well, let's just call her what she is. Amy is literally, one of our biggest advocates, if not our biggest advocate in the industry itself.
And then she called bullshit.
All right, explain yourself, literally in a message.
Mm-hmm.
Explain yourself.
I wasn't talking about your guys. But who the fuck are you talking about? Vague booking and shit.
It just goes through me, that somebody would charge that. It, why? Why would you do that?
You're in coming. Hold on, just a second. Robin, you're in that group. You were actually on the call in the hotel room. I know for a fact you were.
Yep.
Because we were drinking cheap $3, like $4 vodka that night.
We were actually. it was $3 vodka and gas station orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
Tropicana.
Yep.
Oh God, it was interesting. Let's just call it that.
It was a night. I mean, the only one to stay for any length of time was Jenny, but
well, I mean, we didn't get to the call until late as fuck.
yeah, it was like 10:30. But
So,
as we were going, we were doing selfies with you, sending selfies to you guys and stuff like that. And I want to do that again this weekend as we're heading down towards Alabama.
Yep. So if you guys are interested in hijinks on the road, honestly, we will not, unless it is something that does not show any kind of depiction of the people or the home. We will not be showing any kind of pictures, videos of what we did or doing while we're there.
No, I do pictures as I go through as a part of this space, that kind of thing. I didn't get any in the house this last time, but usually I try to take pictures as I'm there, just in case we might catch something. But
truthfully, we won't do that. It's to protect the client's privacy.
yeah, we won't post anything we do is gonna. Excuse me. Sorry, like a gas bowl got stuck. We do have this is actually a policy that we have. We do have them sign a release if we, as far as details of their case and blah 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 blah. But that's about it. There's nothing that gets sent to social media. It's more for our record that hey, we found this thing, and we show them, hey, we found this thing.
But aside from that, yeah, we'll do pictures, we'll do calls.
We got a 5-hour car ride.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You guys
Talk to ourselves about D&D.
Yeah, that gets stale after a minute.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be westbound and down,
and then southbound and down, hard.
So it's gonna be one of those deals of, what are you guys doing?
Hey guys, talk to us.
Talk to us. Keep Ethan or Brian awake.
It'll be me for the first leg. Me and him have already talked about it.
Okay, letting him sleep.
Yep, letting him rest. However, ask you questions, do the things. We kind of we went on the tirade there for a second about $8,000. But if y'all have questions or anything,
$8,000, Jesus Christ!
Y'all wave at me as you pass Northern Alabama. We'll be in Northern Alabama.
We actually will be.
Actually, no joke. Can't say where, but we will be in Northern Alabama.
Yep.
I don't even know the city we're going to. That's how.
We are going into the middle of the national forest there. That is the most I can give anybody. But yeah, we're pretty much kissing the tip of Alabama just to say that we're in there. But
Lee Jackson said, "If you need something, you have my info." 'Cause she's apparently going to be there.
cool. Who knows? We might.
You never know. We're gonna have our resident weird specialist
On call.
on call for this.
This one's an odd cake.
This one's an oddity. We had to deep dive into some foreign mythology in another country that is of an Eastern philosophy in order to kind of take that boulder obsidian. I mean, we could. This time, the last time we didn't do this, but this time we're taking the magic murder bag just in case.
Literally.
Yeah. We call it the magic murder bag.
Because it does murder the magics with magic. But
this one's different. I mean, we're having to do some. No, we're not fighting a djinn. We're not fighting a djinn. We're not doing. That one's
Middle Eastern mostly.
Yeah, but we're Far East, and that's about it. And that's about as much give I'm going to give on that one.
Even if you guys guess it right, we will not engage that.
No,
because we haven't done the case yet, and they haven't let us talk about the dealings. Yeah. So
we're taking an implement of alcohol and blessing some water. And we're actually having now. We're not doing it's mead's not going to be necessary for this one, but I'll probably end up drinking it anyway. But there's going to be some stuff that is going to knock some rust off of Senor Steve as far as prep ritual that we haven't done for a case in a very long time.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a deal. And I'm supposed to be awake and prime for Saturday. I doubt that's going to be a fucking thing. I'm just going to be honest. I'm probably going to sleep on the way to Alabama because Friday night is booked.
Lee Jackson said, I have a person in Huntsville, Alabama, who practices Santeria. If you need it on this one?
No, not for this one.
Not for this one.
Although, keep that particular feather in your hat. We might need
that one eventually.
Yeah.
Deborah Hudson says, I've got another 10-pound boulder of obsidian on its way.
God.
Ours is about 6-7 pounds of silver sheen obsidian.
Yeah, it's a pretty good slab.
Yeah.
But I do know the one that if you were doing the thing at the fair, well, I call it the fucking fair. It's 7 years of habit. The market. If you were doing the thing at the market, Miss Dina wound up buying one of those. Fucking huge. It's literally, she's walking around cradling it like a child because it's like this big. Do you see my obsidian? Pet.
Easy, buddy.
Like, all right, man. But
Deb was at the market at Eastgate.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I took the lap, but I wasn't able to talk to anybody. I didn't have time. So
I ended up taking the lap, but I ended up having to do more teaching stuff. And
unless you were the person who was in the center, right across from Donna, and I think you might have been, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, Dina bought it from Deborah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was during the Eastgate event, yeah. That's coming soon.
What's that?
Well, next year, next March, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know the date yet, but
Misty's
I know
birthday.
Yeah.
It's on her weekend.
I also know, and then we want to say thank you for Donna for extending the offer. We're going to be at the Universal Energy Expo up in Covington.
In May.
I don't know if it's going to be May. I haven't seen an actual date.
Isn't it in May?
It was in May. I don't know if it's going to be in May.
Well, I'm asking her. Is she if she's still on here?
Does the size of obsidian matter? No, it doesn't
No,
matter.
not at all.
It just depends on how much it holds. If you wake it up, yeah, the pull from it. If you know how to
But
wake them up.
but typically, if you're just hanging out with it, wake me up inside. And
Oh, May 7th and 8th of 2022.
boom.
Bow. There it is. We are going to be there in spades.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then turn right around and do the fucking market.
Yeah.
Because that's how that's going to roll.
Yeah, that's how any of these are going to roll anymore, man. You ready?
Soul DNA. Anyway.
Bigger is always better when it comes to obsidian.
That's true. It's true in certain cases. It's a fun thing to have, especially if you've got it next to your door. Because when you walk in the door, it's either going to push it out or it's going to take it in, and regardless of what it is, it's either going to get the hard no, or the obsidian is going to go give me a hug and never let it go.
I'm going to eat this little bitch.
It's the sauce boss.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The more girth, the more worth. From Donna.
have you seen me? There's a lot of me to love. I mean, is that it? Even though I'm like 80% song lyrics.
10% of that is insulin.
Yeah.
The other 10% of that is spite.
I'm held together by willpower, insulin, and song. I am the ultra bard.
I am talking about obsidian. Of course you are.
Sure. Love you too.
Bet.
But but yeah, obsidian, it already has a pretty good reach when it comes to its field of effect. I mean, you can wear it as a bracelet, as a necklace, and you'll affect, an entire room when you walk into it. Having a huge boulder of it can actually wind up taxing you over time.
Mm-hmm.
It can literally drain a lot of energy out of people, especially if they're not used to it. And it can produce a very large amount of spiritual pressure, so people will feel heavy and get headaches and different things like that if they're extremely sensitive to stone vibrations. So you got to be careful about placement. Just like other things that are girthy, you don't want to put it in the wrong place.
Exactly. You need other things to help lubricate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Jackson says, so which crystal should we have at our doors to keep energies clear? I have a smoky quartz.
That'll do.
That'll work.
That'll do.
Donna uses it to protect from others' energy. That works too. I mean, that's one of the intentions. We use it for, and the specific one that we have, we use it for more inward workings, and to help shave excess off when we have clients come to help to be a draw, a gravitational piece, so to speak. So that's the way that we work with it.
Facilitating spiritual pressure, and not just creating it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I make enough of it myself. Steve Getzinger says, what crystals can I wear to help avoid spirit attachments? Black tourmaline.
I mean,
believe it or not, yeah.
That's the most common.
That's the one that we prescribe the most.
Basically, your black stones, your obsidian.
Unless you're trying to not have to worry about onyx is a good one. However, the side effects of onyx is a decreased libido. So, if you're wanting to have adult funds,
don't wear it.
Don't wear it.
But if you're going out on an investigation or whatnot, wear it.
Yeah.
You can also use pyrite. Pyrite's a pretty strong shielding stone.
Yeah.
The only thing with pyrite, though, is it's a double-edged sword. Pyrite will actually wind up putting you pretty much in an ISO chamber.
Yeah.
Your aura becomes completely cut off to everything. So your empathic connections, your uh, intuitive connections, your sensitivities are all shut off as well. That's the kind of shit that you put under your bed.
Yeah. Garnets are good. They're a traveler's stone. They help protect people who are travelers. They literally burn attachments off of them.
Yay, firestones.
Yeah. Uh, Fire quartz is another one that's a good one. Not fire quartz. Fire agate.
Yeah, fire agate will do. I mean, I wouldn't suggest this to a lot of people, but you can do. You could actually do kyanites fans. Black kyanite or blue kyanite.
If you're natural ground, do not use it. If you are an emitter, if your energy is constantly flowing, don't use it. If you're kind of somewhere in between, it's going to be safe. But if you're a ground, you don't need more ground.
No.
If
Fuck
you're an
no.
emitter, you don't need a ground.
That's why I'm like, I wouldn't usually suggest. You can one that I particularly use. You can use a lot of howlite.
Howlite's a good one because it kind of shows the actual what the thing is, and the way you can identify it, accept it, and tell it to fuck off.
It actually works to break curses.
Mm-hmm.
It dispels illusions and delusions that are both your making and others,
Mm-hmm.
and it also gets rid of minor attachments.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll dispel things that are the small, creepy, crawly kind of critters.
Steve also says, I want to experience the spirits on my investigations, just don't want them coming home to me. A big thing with that, and this is actually something we did at the Stevenson building, hard no boundaries.
Seriously.
I mean hard no. You will not fucking come home with me.
It's not a thing of, will you mind your space and I'll mind mine. No. Anybody that does that is basically looking like a steak. That looks tasty.
Another one, as far as that, Teresa can actually attest to this because they did their boundaries, but they didn't do them firm enough. Because we were there for that. They ended up taking one of them home with them. They ended up having to take them back. I think the important question is when we do spirit investigations, we want to interact, but do not want to take the spirit home with it. Yeah, it's the same thing. Setting hard boundaries before you leave. That is a huge thing. You don't want to be in an ISO chamber when you're going. You want to be able to interact. I don't, other than you're not attaching to me as an intention, I don't wear stuff.
Seriously, the things that I wear are more for other people than they are for me.
Yeah.
It's literally that. Because the biggest thing at the end of the day is, one, don't have a fear. A lot of people have a fear of what it is they can't see. Don't have fear. That you. It's kind of like coming. I've explained this to a bunch of other people that this really helped them out. It's kind of like coming up on a strange dog.
Mm-hmm.
Do you fear the strange dog? You might on the inside. Do you show that? No. You have a healthy respect for that dog and what it's capable of, but you also stand your fucking ground.
Mm-hmm. You maintain your proper posture. Another big thing with dogs, you allow them to smell you, so they have to get in your space in order to do that.
If you're constantly afraid of things that are going to attach to you, you will not notice things that won't.
No sudden movements. All right, good info. We have good info. This is Lee. We have a thing on Friday. No fear here. We are just good magnets for interaction. Same.
So are we. Also, ask Keith and Teresa.
Steve asks, are there spirits we can use to attract crystals that we can use to attract spirits?
Yes, actually. Oh, one of the other stones that you can use is fulgurite.
Oh yeah.
As far as fuck off,
Well,
uh,
it's fucking
it's stone walls.
yeah. It's like, all right, I'm coming near you. Get struck by lightning.
Seriously, it's a strong fuck you, but it only does that to negative spirits.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact,
Actually, appetite is another good one. It'll
yeah,
help with manifestation, allowing them to manifest and keeping evil things away. If
blue
you're
specifically.
blue appetite specifically, if you're going to go into a space that you know are negative, but you want to communicate with the good shit, appetite is your best friend because it'll allow them to manifest.
Intuitive connection, so you can actually hear spirits, get the thing. Rainbow moonstone is usually what we prescribe because it's the easiest to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Azurite's a good one
Mm-hmm.
for that particular go.
Malachite and Azurite's a good one
Yeah.
because it's coupling and it keeps your heart in the right space. That way you're not vulnerable to attachments.
Let's see.
Because emotional attachments are the ones that are the worst. Physical attachments, eh, to be honest, for us, they're easy to remove.
They suck.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. They suck because you get more of the physical symptoms from them.
Yeah.
However, emotional attachments are even worse. So these are the ones that usually form spiritually.
Yes.
And they can destroy the body from the inside out, and I do mean that literally.
Yeah.
So,
What's another one?
as far as drawing spirits,
if you're wanting to present energy, especially for positive spirits, blue kyanite's a good one.
blue kyanite's stellar for that.
It's beautiful. It is. That's its purpose. It is a positive energy generator.
Seraphinite
Yes.
is a stellar one for bringing the positive spirits and angelic presences. So is celestite, and where's that? Where's that? There, um, it's in my head. Charlite. There we go.
Do you think that crystals help spirits feel more comfortable with interacting with us? Crystals help to modify. We'll say it like this: it helps to modify your vibration. That's That's what they do.
So the big thing on that end is it makes you more approachable.
Yeah.
You're the one that does the heavy lifting. All the stones do is go, see, he's not a bad guy. See, she's okay. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's more of also. It's also. It's a thing that helps with your mindset. I have this on me, and as you're thinking about it, it's cycling through your aura. It's creating an intention.
Yupper.
Wow, we went on a tangent on that.
That's okay.
No, that's not bad. I'm just saying. We went in a direction. I like that. Keep that shit coming.
That's the point of these. Seriously, that's the point of these Wednesday nights is to answer y'all's questions. So if you have questions or topics, you bring them up.
So, where are you all going and what are you investigating? Because I'm interested now. You have my attention. I know y'all are going Saturday. Oh, y'all are going to be in Alabama. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be actually just Spirit Mechanics fucking show up. Hey guys, we found you. How do you know we're here?
Yeah.
Octagon Hall. I thought y'all were. I thought y'all. You said you're going to be in Alabama this weekend. They're going to be in Octagon Hall.
Gotcha.
That's good. That's a good spot anyway. Without the extra help, from my understanding, I haven't got to investigate it. I want to investigate it so bad.
It's supposed to be a hot spot. The big thing is waiting until it's not so rut worn, we'll say. And for anybody who is not from the country, what I mean by ruts is it is a well-traveled path to the point to where there are grooves worn in the ground. Because it does affect, honestly, it affects paranormal activity. The more saturated a place is, the less things can do.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest reason why is there's only so much energy that comes around. And you have to think about how much energy it takes for them to give a response, for them to interact, for them to use trigger objects. It wears them the fuck out. So when you're there every weekend doing the same thing, and there's people coming in and out every day, and every one of them wants something, how would you feel? I mean, it's basically like working retail.
Hey, Steve. November.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
EM pumps can help. Certain entities can draw for those, other ones can't.
It depends on their specific vibration and honestly, their ability to fucking understand. That's something, and this is something for anybody who is a paranormal investigator. For the love of God, if you're investigating a situation that is age sensitive, there is a child in this area, there is an elderly person in this area, they are from such and such back in the day.
They're from the 1760s. Hey, pull energy from this EM pump. What's
What
energy? What's an EM pump?
what the fuck are you talking about? And that's
What's a camera? What's a microphone? Speak into this box. Why would I do that?
you have to meet them where they are. Sitting there and going, a dur is not really going to do anything for them. They're going to stare at you like you're dumb. Um,
Treat a kid like a kid.
exactly.
Hey, I've got this ball.
Would you like to play?
What, you want to play?
It's a simple thing. Like, it really is a simple thing. If it's an elderly person, yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Especially during that time period, specific time periods that, the majority of, like, say, Octagon Hall or Camp Nelson or Gettysburg or
Perryville.
Perryville, Blue Licks. You're talking about time periods. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. Is extremely important, especially in the South. I don't care if you're military or not.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Southern hospitality was a thing.
Yes.
And we're not going, yay, Confederacy. That's not what we're talking. We're literally talking Southern hospitality.
Yeah, just Southern hospitality.
Um, the other thing, too, is do not command.
Yeah.
That's something else that I fucking hate about a lot of investigators and their process. We're going to put it that way. It's the fact that they command a response. You will do this. I want you to do this. Who the fuck are you to command anybody else? Whether they're living or dead, there has to be a reciprocation.
Hey, if you wouldn't mind, I'm having a hard time hearing. Would you mind to knock?
Do you have any idea how much activity we see just by giving respect where it's due?
Yeah. And try to be their friend. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. Try to be their friend. Try to understand their situation. Like you were talking about a couple comments ago. A girl was burned to death during the Civil War. Understand that situation. How would a girl be treated during that period of time? A little girl be treated during that period of time.
The other thing too, and this is just as a side, if you are talking to somebody from a foreign country and you are speaking English, expect not to get an answer. Seriously. If the person is French, if they are German, if they are Spanish, if they are, have somebody who can speak that language.
Please. And Lisa is completely agree. We are empathic. Obviously, we're just kind of mostly for the junior investigators, people who haven't gone on these things and want to. Mostly more than anything.
Right.
I mean, some of the stuff that we see, It agitates us.
It's neither one of us. We grew up. I mean, we're just gonna be honest. We grew up in situations that weren't exactly great, but the things that made it great were the people that taught us how to be who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the first thing that was instilled. You give respect where it's due. You talk to somebody where they're at. You don't make them come to your level. You meet them halfway.
And that says first group that was here told they were told through a spirit box to get the fuck out, and they probably weren't giving the proper respect. You got to treat it like it's their place, it's their residence. They belong there because they do. Just because they're just so happen to be cohabitating your domicile doesn't mean that they don't belong there. Even though quit being a moocher and do my laundry. However, anyway, but that and yeah, and especially if you're visiting like a place like Octagon Hall, you're a guest in their home.
Yep.
We seen that when we were at the Carnegie Building. We were a guest. We treated they were a group of kids that were their spirit kids, and we treated them like kids. And out of the entire night, we got the most evidence out of the entire freaking tour that was going on that night because we treated them like they were kids.
That was
Because
it.
they are.
They're kids. Would you like to play with this ball? And the ball moves. Would you look at this? When you tap here, when you press this white thing, there's a light that comes on.
And the camera would freaking flash.
And starting to get intelligent responses with camera flashes.
Mm-hmm. Just from a cell phone.
Two, literally back to back. 2 for no, 1 for yes. And the person holding the phone didn't have it on auto. They were holding it like this.
Mm-hmm. They weren't pushing any buttons.
I mean, we saw full body apparitions walking.
Mm-hmm.
It literally a tip of the hat or a bow or a I'll move out of the way.
A curtsy. I had stepped out one time to go smoke a cigarette. I come back in. I seen this lady in a gown walking up the stairs, and I went, I wish I had my camera. I physically saw this chick just walking up the stairs like it was nothing, and I'm like, I want my camera out.
And it was seriously at that point, welcome to my house, but I have other things to attend to.
Yeah, I have guests in the other room.
And that's exactly where she went, is exactly where everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The other thing too, scrutinize, and this is for literally everybody, whether you're a senior or junior. Scrutinize your shit. Literally be skeptical of your own evidence. See if you can debunk or disprove what it is that you found. Reason being, I've literally watched veteran ghost hunters get irate when somebody literally looks at them and goes, "That's lens flare. That is light coming off of a mirror from headlights. That's
an IR reflection.
That's dust. That's that's bugs. That's noise pollution because you're close to the road." And them lose their shit on these people, and I'm talking about in public, lose their shit on these people because they pointed out that their evidence was faulty. Scrutinize your stuff. If it's legitimate stuff, you don't have anything to worry about. At worst, you can call it inconclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we do. If we're not sure, if we know we got something, but we can't pinpoint what it is, it's inconclusive. It's okay to not get something. And that's something that a lot of people get burnt on. well, I watched on such and such TV show, and they went to this place, and they got all this evidence. Well, what people don't understand is that's over anywhere between a weekend to an entire week of investigation.
Yep.
That is days and days and days of investigation compiled into a 45-minute episode.
Yep.
You know, they sit there for hours, even days on end, not getting a damn thing. Um, so take some of that shit with a grain of salt. It's okay. The whole idea behind paranormal investigation is to prove that something's there, not to wish it is.
Also, the big thing about a paranormal investigation is it's supposed to be fun. You're there to spend time with these people because it's fun, not because we're trying to. And then for our circumstance specifically, because you're trying to get a TV show out of it, or you're trying to get be the next, fucking Bagans, or the next Grant, that kind of thing. That's not what it's about. It's about being there for the spirits that are there and the science behind what you're trying to do.
The goal is to prove this stuff exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to, sit there and make a mess out of it. It's you can have fun,
Mm-hmm.
but view it as it's a science project.
Yeah, you're literally doing the fucking baking soda vinegar volcano. What happens if I do this?
We're either gonna make explosions or we're gonna make something cool.
Yep. Go to cool places and find paranormal activity. You're literally what we did the entire time at the Stevenson building. It was a huge ass experiment.
I
We
mean,
we tried everything we knew to try for that particular venue.
and even then, we tried shit that we hadn't done before.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because we wanted to see, well, what would happen if we did this? Like playing a card game. Literally playing poker.
Yeah. And we did. Now
Mhm.
here's the fun part about this. Now this was the greatest part to me. At least this was the most fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a card game. We're doing the thing. We lay a hand down, face down. We don't know what it is. We set it face down. Leave the person a cigarette, an unlit cigarette. We set them up. They've got the thing. Close the door behind them so nobody can mess with it without somebody hearing or knowing. And I walk back out, deal my own hand, and I wait. And I wait for that intuitive kick. Okay, they've touched the cards, and I call out to them. Do and it's full on poker. Do you raise or call? And we went back and forward, and I slipped cards into my hand. Not trying to hide the fact that I was cheating. I slipped cards into my hand. They folded on me. Stayed in the space with their hand, but folded on me. Gave me no response. And I was like, it's because I cheated, wasn't it? And I get this in the back of my head. Okay, so we're going to do this with a different person. Got Keith in there, and we're playing cards. I'm dealing. I have no fucking idea what Keith's hand is. I have no idea what the other hand is. And he and Keith went back and forth. And Keith won the hand. And about that time, Keith walks in and goes, call, lays his hand down, flips the other one over, wins the hand, and goes, don't worry about it, I'll let you keep your money. And as soon as he said that,
Bits.
yeah,
Keep your bits.
because of the time the time frame that this particular spirit lived in, you can keep your bits. And about that time, and it was on camera. There was this flash an anomaly that came out of the particular space we were in and shot across.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not an orb. It was a literal light anomaly that was about that big on the screen and was a shimmer. And it was a static camera. It was still. Nobody else was around it. We weren't in frame. Nothing else going on. Fine, fuck you. Take my money and go.
Yeah.
God, it was fun.
That's the kind of thing that, be an innovator as far as investigating, act. Even if it's not an act, you're playing cards, you're a medic, try to empathize with the situation. That's just food for thought. Goodness gracious.
So fun. It is. It's so fun. Oh. We got anything else, sir? Because I can't read because I ain't got my glasses on.
Put your eyes on, sir. Annette says can't debunk a bottle of water getting tossed across the room. No, you can't. That's true. Investigating people don't like to be debunked. It's true. Yeah. Does Angelite do anything in that regard? I picked one up in a stone shop. By the time we walked through the store, when I handed it to the cashier, she almost dropped it because it was actually hot.
Angelite has a tendency to both repel negative spirits and bring good ones.
Mm-hmm.
It facilitates what would be considered a high vibration energy
Mm-hmm.
that would actually resonate with what a lot of people would feel as an angelic presence.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they get hot is because they're working overtime. We actually, our first big case as a team, we used an angelite underneath a person's chair that we were exercising. And by the time we had finished and I'd pulled the thing out, threw it in the mirror, the angelite had turned almost to salt. It went from an actual tumbled piece that was about that big to a sphere that was stark white.
Mm-hmm. I sat and watched him put it down. I wish we'd have had cameras on it, but
I actually still have that particular angelite.
yep, it's in a bag somewhere.
It's in that bag in my stone grid. Notice how I put that. It is literally a cursed object because there is something in it. So, it stays in the fucking bag where all the don't touch me things are. That dude doesn't come out. But yeah, Angelite's interesting for that. But it's more of a repellent than it is a banisher. Yeah. So you need to be very careful if you're going to be, using that particular stone to keep the nasties away. The bigger bads, it's
don't give a shit.
No, not at all. But that's another stone that would help you out with calling good spirits.
Mm-hmm. Any questions, comments, anything like that? Throw them in the chat. Let's get it going.
Keep them coming.
Oh. Gonna sleep good tonight, boy.
Get back on schedule.
Yep.
Especially ought to try to do that before Saturday.
Yeah. Lee says I have a nice celestite stone next to the bed. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like celestite. I like the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a de-stressor, but specifically with communication and a group of people. It helps with agoraphobia, which is fear of crowds. So it's a pretty fun one.
It's I like it. It's fun.
It's got a nice chill out kind of
It does.
energy to it.
Steve Getzinger asks, what is your best way to introduce yourself to a new location that you investigate? Saying hi,
It's
introducing yourself, even if it's just in the back of your head, you're still giving proper respect. Hello, I'm blah 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 blah. I'm from X location.
obviously you do not have to give your full
Don't give your full name ever,
no.
because you
Hello.
never know if a Faye is listening.
Yep. Hello. My name is Steven. You know, like at the Stevenson building. Hello, my name is Steven. I'm from Kentucky. I don't even tell what city I'm in.
Uh huh.
I'm from Kentucky. Thank you for allowing me the chance to be here with you.
Would it be all right if we hung out?
Seriously.
Hey, Crystal Infinity, I need your shirt. Which one, Spider Man or the song lyrics?
Context.
We're gonna wrap up about 11 o'clock. Um, can it go from here? If y'all will if y'all are gonna keep going, we'll keep going. But I'm gonna try lyrics, 100%.
I think the wife ordered this from me.
So not saying something like that there are any spirits here that would like to talk to us. Um, to me, that's being very general.
It's very open ended.
Um, just introducing yourself and then asking questions. Introduce yourself. I'm here to do the thing.
Think about it this way. If you go to a house party and it's somebody that you don't know, what's the first thing that you do? You don't roll in and you're like, "Hi everybody, my name is blah. Do any of you want to talk to me?" Because, how does that really come across? But if you walk in, "Thanks for having me. My name is this." And then you start asking questions, you start to build a dialogue. There is a reciprocation there as opposed to, "Everybody pay attention to me." Because if you come across that particular way, they're going to treat you that particular way.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want to be around that?
Jenny Tub asks, "What's the deal with the Fae and saying a full name?"
If you give a Fae your full name, they have actually gained control over portions of your life and can actually eventually take those things away from you for themselves.
Hey, Rain Clark, what's going on? Hey, Cara Blythe, what's going on?
So, how it goes,
How it is, what it ain't.
what it ought to be.
Woo!
Because the biggest thing with spirit communication is it comes down to how would you talk to another person.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally that simple. How would you present yourself? How would you talk to another person, especially people that you're not familiar with?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only real thing that you have to worry about when you're doing spirit communication is age and time period.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, be yourself. Literally, be yourself.
So Leah also says, so another conversation when I see you next month. The Fae and the elementals I have. Bring it.
Cool.
We'll do the thing.
Absolutely.
Well, at least you're differentiating. Because there's some who are in the paranormal field that when we say Fae, they don't understand what we mean. They think of the element when we say elemental. They think of what English or British investigators call elemental.
Pretty much anything other than a human spirit is
Mm-hmm.
an elemental,
Yep.
and that's nowhere near the case. That's not how that particularly works.
Well, for them it does because it's their vernacular.
Right.
But for us, when we're actually giving our vernacular and from our experiences and stuff like that, we try to differentiate down to the type because it's very important for us to know. Because if you say it's a human spirit or if it's an elemental spirit,
The way it's handled are two very different ways.
yeah. And Donna says elementals to me are old existence, and they can be very much so. To me, elementals, well, to us, as far as our team, elementals are elements: earth, air, fire, water.
Light, dark,
Mm-hmm.
combinations thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start to get into old spirits, some of them can be elementals. I mean, you're getting into um, things like gnome and you know jinn, not the apparition.
Classification of a jinn.
Right. You're getting into like undine and sylph and different things like that, um, which are very old representations of elemental. And then you have the old ones. Now, the old ones are precursors to our understanding of God as He, she, they, it are. Um, so they are long forgotten faces of God. And when you start to talk about old ones, that's a little bit of a different story.
All right, Steve, you have a good night, man.
Later, buddy.
Let's see here. Uh, Donna continuing on to be old existence, to be highly respected and not bothered and less important on high on the levels. Yeah, I get that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like specific elementals, like name, because you have shadow elemental, then you have Jinn, and would I address a shadow elemental and Jinn differently? 100%, because you're talking about an entity that's a building block.
this is this is literally the basis on which all other shadow elements are actually created.
Aurora, another one.
The light elemental,
Yeah. When you get into, all right, I need to speak to a light elemental. I need to speak to Aurora.
salamander.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. It's a fire elemental.
No.
All right, well, let's go talk to salamander. It's one of those kinds of deals. Because I would honestly, even you've got the main building block, and then you've got the step down, and I would even classify them as something different as well. So I mean, like with wind, you've got sylph or sylphid, depending on where you are in the world, and then you've got typhon
Mm-hmm.
or typhon, depending on where you are in the world. And those are two very different entities, although they deal with the same thing. Sylph is the building block of wind. They are the one who are literally the wind elemental. But Typhon is the wind element of storm. So you have the breakdown there. here's the top tier, here's the one that does this specific thing in this specific way using wind.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you can find that particular entity, you're pretty much dealing with a wind elemental and then the building block.
Yeah, you're not gonna find them in wild.
No.
I'd be like, I'm gonna go to this place and find a facet of God itself.
True nature spirits, the truest nature
Mhm.
spirits, because you literally are, when you're dealing with high elementals, you're dealing specifically with faces of God, like Brian was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking to Sylph is the same as talking to Fujian. You literally are talking to a face of God that deals specifically in wind.
Fujin's a little different though. It has a completely different demeanor, attitude, and you have to carry yourself with a specific decorum.
That specific word too. he expects certain things,
Very much so.
but then most of the Shintos do.
Mm-hmm. Well, anybody got anything else before we move on or go away?
A spirit mechanic never dies; they just fade away.
Spirit mechanic never dies. They just end up sitting upright and going to sleep.
I do that.
In my path, they are considered the ancient ones, stirred gently, and humble as fuck. Yes, and the same for us. We don't go in with guns blazing and trying to, you know, again talk to Sylph and be like, "Hey, bitch, do this thing for me." You're not gonna get a great result.
Nope.
It would be like me walking up. No, like me walking up and asking Fujin for a favor without having tea and bowing a lot.
Who are you?
No.
It would be a who are you, and then it would be no. Who are you again? And then there would be a very loud and distinct slap on his life. And yes, that particular word, life. Okay. Whatever it is that you asked for, I'll give it to you in spades.
For you.
Everybody else gets to suffer around you, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the entire time, you're getting what it is that you want, and everybody falling apart around you. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Literally, in the back of your head, was it worth it? Congratulations. I'm happy for you. And meaning every single word as he says it. I'm happy for you. I'm glad this worked out for you. Was it worth it to you? Are you happy? It just brutal.
Alrighty, ladies and gents. We love you. It's been good. It's been fun. This one's probably been one of the more fun ones we've had in a while.
In a little bit, you guys were, chatty tonight. That's kind of what we want for these Wednesdays. Think about some questions. Seriously, think about some questions if you guys are regulars. If you'd like to be regulars. And
Those who want to be regulars,
we do this.
change your follow setting.
That.
And that's for every page that you follow, not just us. But if you want to catch content from other creators or other people who are on this platform, you got to change your follow settings. But until we meet again, we love you guys. We'll see you real soon.
Later, y'all.
Later.